You believe men are loyal, that mercy secures love, that truth will shield you, and that power, once attained, lasts forever. But these are lies. Lies that will strip you of strength, blind you to danger, and leave you powerless. Today, I reveal 4 dangerous deceits that rulers, leaders, and men fall victim to, and why Machiavelli himself warned against them. I speak not as a dreamer, but as a surgeon of power. For centuries, princes and leaders have been betrayed, not by their enemies, but by the lies they chose to believe. If you would endure, if you would not be devoured, you must see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. Listen closely. There is no lie more seductive and no lie more destructive than the belief that everyone around you is your friend. Men will smile at you, embrace you, and swear loyalty with words as sweet as honey, while in their hearts they calculate what they may gain from you, and when best to abandon you. To believe that men are loyal by nature is to invite your own ruin. For loyalty, my friend, is not born of affection. It is born of necessity and self-interest. Consider the fate of rulers and leaders who placed blind trust in their companions. They thought friendship was a fortress, but it proved to be a house built on sand. When fortune turned, their so-called friends vanished, or worse, joined their enemies. Why? Because men are faithful only when it costs them nothing, only when loyalty brings them benefit. The moment hardship arises, friendship is weighed against self-preservation, and you may be sure which side will be chosen. You must understand the nature of men. They love at their convenience, but they fear at all times. They are quick to claim loyalty in times of ease, but in times of danger, they think first of themselves. Do not be deceived by the softness of their words or the warmth of their smiles. For beneath every gesture of friendship lies a calculation. A man remains by your side not because of love, but because he believes it serves him. The day it does not, he will leave. This is why the wise ruler does not build his power upon friendship, but upon necessity. A man may abandon his friend without shame, but he will not so easily abandon the one he needs. When his livelihood, his safety, or his ambition depends on you, his loyalty is secured not by love, but by fear of losing what he values most. Friendship, in this sense, is an ornament. Necessity is the chain that binds. Think of a prince who enters rule with companions he grew up with, trusting them as brothers. He places them in positions of influence, confident that their love will sustain him. But soon he discovers what many rulers have learned too late. Friends make poor servants. They remember equality when you require obedience. They remember their own ambitions when you require loyalty. And when power is shared among friends, envy festers like rot beneath the surface. They will betray you not always out of hatred, but because they see themselves as your equal. And equals are quick to seize what they believe they deserve. Therefore, the ruler must guard himself, reward men not for friendship, but for service, demand loyalty not through affection, but through fear and dependence. If a man owes his position, his fortune, and his very security to you, he will cling to you with desperation. This loyalty is far stronger than that born of camaraderie. Friendship bends in the storm. Necessity anchors itself like iron in the earth. You may ask then, should one never trust a friend? The answer is simple. Trust a friend as you would trust a coin tossed into the air, valuable only when it lands in your favor, and uncertain in every moment until it does. A friend may remain loyal for a season, but do not mistake a season for eternity. What preserves loyalty is not sentiment, but calculation. Keep your friends close, yes, but bind them with obligations. Make them indebted, so their self-interest serves you. Let them know that their fortune rises and falls with your favor, and only then may you speak of loyalty with confidence. Reflect also on the common man, for he too believes his circle of friends is unshakable. Yet observe what happens when wealth is lost or when misfortune strikes. The laughter fades, the gatherings disperse, and those who once professed eternal friendship vanish like smoke. This is not because men are wicked by nature, but because they are weak. They cling to what benefits them, and they abandon what burdens them. This is why to build one's strength upon friendship is to place your life upon shifting sand. You cannot command the hearts of men, but you can command their interests. And where interest is bound to you, loyalty will endure. Thus, when you hear a man say, "I am your friend, and I will never leave you," take his words not as truth, but as a performance. Remember, every man is a stage actor, playing the role that earns him applause, safety, or reward. Some play the role of friend, others the role of servant, but beneath the mask lies the same motive, self-preservation. To navigate this truth is not cynicism, but wisdom. It is the clarity that allows a ruler to see men as they are, not as he wishes them to be. Mercy, the word itself shines like a jewel. Men adore it, priests preach it, and rulers who boast of their mercy are celebrated as virtuous. Yet I tell you this, the belief that mercy alone secures loyalty is a dangerous illusion. For while mercy pleases the people in the moment, it plants the seeds of your own downfall. Too much mercy makes men bold, careless, and unafraid of you. And where fear is absent, respect dies. Imagine the prince who rules with a gentle hand, forgiving crimes, overlooking betrayal, pardoning rebellion. He believes that by showing kindness he wins the hearts of his people, that they will love him for his tolerance. But what happens in truth? The criminal laughs at his leniency. Traitor plots again knowing forgiveness awaits, and the subjects grow arrogant, thinking their ruler too weak to punish. The prince, once admired for his mercy, becomes despised for his softness. Men do not love a ruler who spares too freely. They exploit him. Understand this. Mercy without discipline is no virtue. It is weakness dressed in noble robes. When men sense that punishment will not come, they abandon restraint. A city ruled by mercy without severity becomes a nest of disorder. A family governed by endless forgiveness falls into chaos. A kingdom where fear is absent is a kingdom already halfway lost. For fear, though unpleasant, is the surest guardian of loyalty. Do not mistake me. Mercy has its place, but it must be sharpened with the blade of fear. Mercy without consequence is an open invitation to treachery, but mercy paired with punishment is strategy. It allows you to reward loyalty while reminding men of the cost of betrayal. To show mercy without power to enforce fear is to arm your enemies with boldness. To show mercy while holding the sword is to control when and how men bend the knee. Think of Caesar, who forgave his enemies time and time again. He believed that magnanimity would secure their devotion. Instead, those he spared rose again and conspired against him. They mistook his clemency for weakness, and in the end, it was the daggers of his friends, men once pardoned, that ended his reign. Contrast this with rulers who tempered mercy with punishment. Their names endure, because they understood that love alone is fleeting. But fear binds men more securely than affection ever can. Mercy always wins, no. Mercy wins only when given sparingly, when it is earned, and when it serves a purpose. The ruler who distributes mercy as freely as bread cheapens its value. Subjects come to expect it as a right, not as a gift, and when mercy is expected, it loses all power. Better to be feared and occasionally merciful, than to be merciful and never feared. For fear commands obedience, while mercy alone encourages defiance. You must ask yourself, do you wish to be loved, or do you wish to be obeyed? Love is fickle, it vanishes in the heat of crisis, it wavers when fortune turns. But obedience, rooted in fear of punishment, holds firm even when men despise you. Mercy can make men grateful, yes, but fear ensures they act as you command. Gratitude fades, fear remains. Picture the general leading his army. If he shows endless mercy to deserters, the soldiers grow careless, knowing their lives will be spared. Discipline collapses, and soon the army is nothing more than a mob. But if he executes one deserter with precision and grants mercy to another with reason, discipline hardens and the soldiers march with order. Mercy does not guide armies, discipline does. The same is true for nations, for courts, for households. Wherever men gather, mercy without fear invites ruin. Men admire mercy when it does not cost them. They praise it when they are the recipients. But let them see others exploit your mercy, and their admiration turns to contempt. They will whisper that you are weak, that you lack resolve, that you cannot command respect. And contempt, once it spreads, is deadlier than hatred, for men may fear and hate you and still obey, but if they despise you, they will rise against you without hesitation. Mercy given without measure leads directly to contempt. Therefore, show mercy as the falcon strikes. Not often, not carelessly, but with intent. Let men believe your mercy is rare, precious, and to be earned through loyalty. And when you grant it, let them feel the weight of what you have spared them. Mercy must be remembered not as a habit, but as a gift. Only then does it hold power, for a ruler who is both feared and sparing with mercy is respected. A ruler who is merciful without fear is discarded like an old cloak when storms arrive. Truth, the philosophers worship it, the preachers demand it, and the common man swears he values nothing more. They will tell you that if you are honest, you will be respected. If you are truthful, you will be safe. If you speak openly, the world will reward you. But here is the harsh reality. Truth alone is not enough. Men say they love the truth, but in practice they despise it when it wounds their pride, when it threatens their interest, or when it exposes their weakness. The naked truth is too sharp for most men to bear, and the ruler who believes honesty alone will preserve him is a ruler walking willingly into ruin. Consider the man who speaks the truth without veil. He declares his intentions plainly, he reveals his heart openly, and he trusts that his sincerity will protect him. But does it? No. His enemies study his words, calculate his moves, and prepare their strikes with precision. His honesty becomes their weapon, his openness their advantage. Truth alone without caution is not protection but exposure. A man who reveals all is like a fortress without walls, admired by some perhaps, but conquered by all who wish to take advantage of him. You must remember, the world does not operate on truth. It operates on perception. Men are not guided by what is, but by what appears to be. Appear strong, and they will fear you. Appear virtuous, and they will praise you. Appear honest, and they will trust you. But appearance is not the same as truth. The wise ruler knows how to use truth when it serves him, and how to veil it with deception when it does not. To insist on truth alone is to play the game of power with half your tools discarded. Look at the courts of history. How many rulers fell not because they lacked truth, but because they refused to bend it? A prince who insists always on truth will find himself outmaneuvered by those who mix truth with cunning. His words may be pure, but purity without strategy is naivety. Meanwhile, his rivals, who smile, flatter, deceive, and cloak their true intentions, advance step by step until his honesty leaves him isolated, exposed, and overthrown. Truth is noble, but nobility does not preserve power. Deception, carefully wielded, does. You must understand that truth is like a sword. It can cut cleanly, but in the wrong hands it cuts its owner. Deception, on the other hand, is like a shield. It conceals, it protects, and it gives you time to strike when the moment is right. A ruler who tells the truth at all times may be admired by philosophers, but he will be devoured by wolves who know how to lie. Men want to be deceived. They crave illusions. They demand that their rulers appear virtuous, even when they know in their hearts that no man truly is. They prefer comforting lies to painful truths. The people want to believe their leader is generous, even if he is not. They want to believe their ruler is just, even if justice is only a mask. This is not hypocrisy. It is human nature. And the wise ruler does not fight human nature. He bends it to his advantage. Truth is enough only in a world of angels. In the world of men, truth must be dressed, adorned, and sometimes concealed. Consider the general who tells his army, "We are outnumbered, and defeat is likely." He speaks the truth, but what happens? His soldiers despair, their courage falters, and the battle is lost before it begins. Now consider the general who says, "Victory is within reach if you fight with courage." Is this truth? Perhaps not. But it inspires men, it drives them forward, and it wins battles that truth alone would have already surrendered. Which general, then, serves his cause better? The one who worships truth, or the one who commands victory? Do not misunderstand me. Truth has value. It can establish trust. It can strengthen bonds. It can serve as a foundation. But truth alone is not enough. It must be chosen carefully, used strategically, and combined with appearances that serve your interests. Reveal truth when it strengthens your position. Conceal it when it weakens you. Show honesty when it wins you allies. Disguise it when it arms your enemies. In power, Truth is not an obligation. It is a weapon, to be drawn only when it strikes in your favor. So when you hear men proclaim, honesty is the best policy, recognize it for what it is, a pleasing saying for children and dreamers. In the harsh theater of power, honesty without cunning is blindness, and truth without disguise is weakness. Men do not follow the man who insists always on truth. They follow the man who knows when to reveal it, when to withhold it, and when to replace it with illusion. For in this world, truth alone is never enough. The greatest illusion of power is the belief that once you have seized it, you will keep it. Men who climb to the throne imagine themselves secure. Generals who win their battles believe themselves invincible. Rulers who build vast kingdoms think them eternal. Yet nothing in this world is more fragile than power. It does not belong to you. It belongs to fortune, to circumstance, and to the loyalty of men who serve you only so long as it suits them. The man who believes power is permanent has already begun to lose it. History is littered with the corpses of those who trusted in the permanence of their rule. Kings crowned with gold were toppled by rivals with iron. Empires that spanned continents collapsed in a single generation. Leaders who thought themselves beloved awoke to rebellion at their gates. Why? Because they mistook power for stone when in truth it is water. It flows, it shifts, it changes course with the slightest disturbance. The wise ruler knows that holding power requires vigilance every day, every hour, every moment. The foolish ruler believes he can rest, and it is in that rest that he is destroyed. Power is like a fortress under siege. The moment you stop repairing the walls, cracks appear. The moment you stop watching the gates, enemies slip inside. The moment you trust that no attack will come, the attack is already on its way. Fortune is fickle, men are ungrateful, rivals are restless, and time itself is your enemy. To think your power is permanent is to invite complacency, and complacency is the sweetest poison. It lulls you into ease, it blinds you to threats, and when you awaken, it is already too late. Consider the prince who inherits his throne. He thinks his dynasty secures him, that tradition alone will keep the people loyal. But the people do not remember tradition when their bellies are empty. They do not honor dynasties when they are burdened with taxes. They remember only their grievances, and they look to anyone who promises relief. The prince, lulled by the illusion of permanence, ignores their discontent. He laughs at whispers of rebellion, dismisses warnings, and sleeps soundly at night. Yet one day he wakes to find his banners burned, his servants gone, and his enemies seated upon his throne. Even the strongest rulers must bow to fortune. One plague, one famine, one war gone wrong, and the pillars of power begin to shake. Those who once praised you as invincible suddenly mutter that you are cursed. Those who swore loyalty drift toward your rivals. Those who depended on your strength abandon you the moment weakness is revealed. Do you see? Power is not a mountain, it is a flame. It shines brightly, it commands awe, but it must be fed constantly with fuel. Discipline, fear, wealth, vigilance. Remove the fuel, and the flame dies quickly. And yet men cling to this lie, whispering to themselves, I have secured my place. I have no need to fear. They trust in their armies, forgetting that armies march not for love but for pay. They trust in their advisors, forgetting that advisors seek their own advantage. They trust in their reputation, forgetting that fame is as fleeting as smoke. All of these supports are temporary. All of them shift with fortune. Only a fool believes they are everlasting. The wise understand that power must be defended as fiercely as it was won. Every ally must be tested, every rival watched, every moment of ease treated with suspicion, for danger grows strongest when you least expect it. The ruler who sharpens his sword in times of peace will still have a sword when war returns. The ruler who forgets the blade because the land is quiet will find himself disarmed the moment conflict erupts. Permanence is an illusion. Only vigilance is real. Think also of men who are not rulers but leaders of smaller realms. Merchants, commanders, even fathers within households. They too fall into this trap. A merchant builds his fortune and believes it secure, yet one careless venture, one deceitful partner, and his wealth crumbles. A commander wins battle after battle and believes no enemy can touch him until arrogance blinds him and defeat arrives at his strongest hour. A father rules his household with authority, but neglects discipline, thinking his position eternal, until his children rise against him in defiance. Power, whether over kingdoms or families, whether in palaces or simple homes, must be tended daily, or it vanishes. Men crave permanence because it soothes them. They dream of legacies, of names written in stone, of empires that will never fall. Yet even the pyramids crumble, even the mightiest dynasties end, even the greatest emperors are reduced to dust. To believe power is permanent is to live in fantasy. Know that it is fragile is to live with clarity. The wise man does not chase illusions of permanence. He works tirelessly, for he knows that only constant struggle keeps power in his grasp. Now you see the four great lies that seduce rulers, leaders, and men alike. That everyone is your friend, when in truth loyalty bends only to necessity. That mercy always wins, when in truth it breeds contempt if not tempered with fear. That truth is enough, when in truth appearances and deception move men far more than naked honesty. And that power is permanent, when in truth it is as fragile as glass and must be defended daily. These lies are sweet to believe, for they flatter your hopes and ease your fears. But sweet lies are poison. They weaken your vigilance, they blind your judgment, and they strip you of strength until you are devoured. The man who sees clearly, who rules not by illusion but by reality, who understands men not as they claim to be but as they are, that man endures. All others, no matter how mighty, no matter how adored, are destined to fall. Remember this: power belongs not to the dreamer who believes lies, but to the one who pierces them.